This podcast episode is brought to you by the Canine Cooperative, an exclusive community of dog owners where you can find me live every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. to talk all things dogs. Find us online at vermontdogboardingandbehavior.com/cooperative. Enjoy the show.
Time again for Talking Dogs with Ian Grant, owner of Vermont Dog Boarding and Behavior, VFW Drive Hyde Park. It's the show that delves into the training, socializing, behavior, nutrition, and wellness of your dog. And brought to you by Guy's Farm and Yard, with locations in Morrisville, Montpelier, Williston, and St. Albans. And we're back with the trainer, Ian Grant. And this week, the show is entitled True Compatibility Between Dog and Owner. This is almost like everybody always says, I had the perfect dog, or what's the terminology?
The one in a million.
The one in a million dog.
Yeah.
And for us, it was not to disrespect Tika, but Clover was that one because she was it. I mean, the compatibility that we're going to talk about today, and just you're in tune, and there's nothing better than that.
I heard another trainer, it was actually Cesar's head trainer, who said true compatibility is little effort with lots of connection.
Exactly. That's well put.
And I thought, and that's why I wrote it down. That's why we're talking about it today.
That's good. I'm glad you wrote that down.
Because it was like the way that was put was so succinct, and it does explain this. And I think we have to understand too that compatibility, because I think there's a lot of people out there that are in situations where dogs, they're just not compatible. And so compatibility to me is the ability that your dog, understands you, understands the rules in the house, understands what to expect from you on a given day. Everything that you do is there's nothing out of the ordinary to our dog. So to them, there's no stress living with you.
Yeah.
They know what to expect. They know the routine. They understand you, your feelings. And sometimes there's nothing tangible that we can look at and go, this is why you guys get along so well, because it's just a connection. And that's hard to explain to some people, but compatibility can be a wonderful thing when it's there.
Yeah, and it's hard to really describe on how it develops with one particular dog and not others. But I mean, you could go into a whole psychoanalysis about that, and but there's nothing better really. And it doesn't seem like you do. Maybe obviously you do some training to get the ball rolling, but it seems like after that they are with you the whole time.
Yeah, I have a quick story to share with. It was one of the shelter dogs that was out at the workshop at Cesar's workshop a few weeks ago. This dog was super scared of all of us, like. Even trying to get the dog leashed up with a slip lead, you create a loop for them to kind of put over their head. This dog actually, when I went to leash it, jumped through the loop. It was that scared of it. I hadn't seen it at that level before. And so we obviously have to be very careful. We take our time, eventually get the dog leashed up. But during one of the exercises on the very first day, that dog was in my group for one of the students. And so the lady had the dog on leash right next to her, and the dog wasn't scared. It wasn't trying to get away. And so she sat down, and this dog lied down right up against her, and she could pet this dog. They hadn't known each other for 10 minutes.
Really?
And that, to me, was compatibility. Here was this dog that even had a hard time with us getting near it, and now this dog is up against this student like they've been friends for years.
So what is that wavelength like then? That they had something that just didn't connect with you?
That's what I mean. There's something that's not tangible that we can look at and go, why? I'm 15 years into this business and I can't get near this dog. This person touches this dog in 10 minutes and they're snuggling next to each other. And so it is a little humbling, at times, but it's also the beauty of it too, to realize, okay, so I'm not compatible to that dog. I'm okay with that because I'm also not there to train it and everything. But it was just an awesome thing to see. There was harmony. And when that student and that dog got together at other times during the week, like everything just flowed and it was easy. And it was really cool to see. She considered adopting it and then backed out at the last minute. But that's what it looks like. And I don't want to tell people that this is what it should look like with every single dog because I don't think
it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I don't think that's reasonable. But there are varying levels of compatibility that certainly make it so you have a wonderful dog.
It's one of those unexplainable things. And it's, like I said, it's great when it is. And of course, when you lose a dog of that nature, and then the next one is always, I know. And of course, Tika is the next one around. And we love Tika. She's not the same, but she is her own dog. She has her own personality, and we love her for that. But there's that one little
missing piece.
Yeah. I suppose so. But it's magical. It's magical. And they say you get one in a million, or you get one dog in your entire lifetime. At least we hope. I hope somebody does. I hope everybody does.
And we also look at those dogs too as trainers, and we go, it's a wonderful thing because owner and dog get to experience that.
Yeah.
The one thing that it doesn't do is it doesn't teach us about dogs at all.
No, it doesn't.
Because there's the harmony.
So then when the next one comes along, you got to work twice as hard.
Right. Then you learn about dogs.
Yeah, but it's a pretty awesome experience.
Yes,
that's for sure. Back with our question from the doggy bag in just a moment here on Talking Dogs.
I hope you're enjoying the podcast. I love sharing my experiences with you. I want to remind you that if you are looking for a better understanding of dog behavior or just a well-behaved dog, I have a bunch of free resources on my website. You can find them at vermontdogboardingandbehavior.com/resources. And I've also put a link in the show notes. And now, back to the show.
Back with Talking Dogs with Ian Grant from Vermont Dog Boarding and Behavior, VFW Drive Hyde Park. You can check out this show and other podcasts on his website, vermontdogboardingandbehavior.com. On the main page, just click on podcasts. And this show, you'll see past shows and other podcasts that Ian does during the course of his days and weeks and months. This morning's question, Ian, is my 6-month-old dog gets the zoomies around 7 p.m. every evening. What can I do to stop it? So it gets them at the same time. So what's the significance in getting it at the same time?
This is quite common among the puppyhood for a lot of my clients. I think there's a combination of things here. One, we have to make sure that the dog is getting proper exercise.
Getting that energy expended.
Yes. Now, there are times for your dog to be out in the yard and they can have their recess time, but then there's also times that we need to take this dog for a structured walk so it actually can think about what we're doing too and not just go into explore and play mode the whole time.
Because they don't expend as much energy going out on their own, flapping in the wind, as compared to a structured walk.
Right. And again, while we're away at work, like you and I are right now, we're expending energy. And if our dogs are at home and if they're at this age, they're collecting energy.
Right.
And so
the batteries are charging.
Yeah,
we just don't know it.
Something's got to give when we get home. The other thing that you can do is about, 6:30, just hook a leash onto your dog in the house, let it drag it around. So if it does get the zoomies, you don't end up chasing that dog around the house. You can just grab the leash, put it into a sit, help it relax, and just teach it that this time of night is actually our downtime and it's not our time to romp around and the living room turns into a playground.
Yeah. So how long do the zoomies last? Or does it just depends on the age of the dog, the temperament of the dog?
Most of the time I hear it's bursts around these times. And this can happen with puppies kind of in that, 3-4 months to 6-7 months old. After that, they start to... you've created enough rules and boundaries that they should kind of fall into routine here.
At least you better of at this point.
I would hope so.
Yeah. Otherwise, it could be like Demolition Derby.
It could be. Your house turns into Thunderdome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we have to, either way, we're going to create some structure. Structured walk, drain a little bit more energy, maybe an extra play session, and then put the leash on your dog. So you're kind of tackling it from a couple different ways.
So every time you see them laying down, just look at the needle. It's charging.
Yes.
It's charging up.
For sure.
If you have a question for Ian, you can email him directly to info@vermontdogboardingandbehavior.com. Next week, how to leave your dog at home alone, and this comes complete with a prayer book, I understand.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's important people understand that there are certain ways to leave your dog at home, what rituals we should and shouldn't do, and how to create some peace and harmony at home while we're gone.
Right. It might be a good time of year to go over that, too.
Yes.
On Talking Dogs with Ian Grant, brought to you by Guy's Farm and Yard, with locations in Morrisville, Montpelier, Williston, and St. Albans. And for the trainer Ian Grant, I'm Roland DeJoy, and we are Talking Dogs.